All right, we are broadcasting live. Welcome to Phil's First Party Parlay, where we talk all things timely and topical in the insurance restoration industry. I'm Phil Sanov, trial lawyer with Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group. With Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group, I have 55 of the most awesome attorney colleagues you would ever want to know. We are in 25 offices, 13 states, all across the country. Although we're talking primarily hail claims this evening, if you have any problem with any insurance claim, you need to come see us. You can reach us through our website, forthepeople.com, hit pound LAW from any cell phone, or just call me on my personal cell. We'll figure out how to help you. 713-825-3444. Morgan & Morgan's Insurance Recovery Group. Come see us. We are joined this evening on Phil's First Party Parlay by my friend Kris Kincaid of Kincaid Roofing Company. Kris, please hit that magic button and come join us.
Here I am.
All right, there he is. Kris, we know you're crazy busy today and going to be busy in the future. We'll talk about that. We are grateful for your time to come spend a little bit with us this evening. Let me introduce you a little bit, Kris. Kris got started in the roofing industry working hailstorms back in 2001. Finally went back to school and quit working hail claims. Graduated from Texas Tech University, guns up. I'm a proud dad of a Red Raider alum.
There we go.
Back at, hey, there we go. Nice. Got it up there.
Here it
in
is.
05. Shortly after he got out of Texas Tech, he started Kincaid Roofing. Now for over 15 years, Kincaid Roofing has grown to be one of the leading both residential and commercial roofing restoration companies in the West Texas area. Kincaid Roofing has got the honor, the awards, the prestige of being a platinum member of Owens Corning. Kris, I'm going to let you explain the additional awards that I may not get straight. I know there's some sort of certification through GAF and some sort of certification through Johns Manville that just shows the vast prestige and the vast accomplishments of your company. Welcome and thank you for being with us this evening.
Philip, thank you so much for having me again. It's quite an honor to be on here. And yeah, you covered everything pretty good.
Okay.
The certifications with Johns Manville and GAF is just NDL certifications to give 10, 15, 20, 25 year no dollar limit warranties on new construction or re-roof. The manufacturer provides the warranty. They come and inspect our work and make because they're the one that's going to warranty that long, and so they trust us to do that. And I think we do a good job of doing it. So not easy to get certified. Got to do a lot of roofs and prove that you know what you're doing. And because a lot of guys say they do commercial roofing and they don't, so that's one of those things with, if you're NDL certified, it's a good marker that, you know what's going on.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, Kris, as I was mentioning, I am really grateful to you for taking the time to be with us this evening. I know that your phone has had to be blowing up with calls and text messages today. Last night about this time, my message function on my phone and the email started getting quite busy with friends of mine out in the West Texas area that were letting me know about the big Lubbock hailstorm. And so I believe while the hail was still falling, we started texting a little bit and understood that it was quite a storm. So talk about timely and topical. We've got you on here 24 hours later to talk.
Well, yeah, I'm fresh off the streets. Probably still see the sweat. I've probably been on 20 roofs today, and just it's I think I had 240 text messages this morning from previous customers that they know they can call the office, but it's just a lot of relationships that I have that they call us. And anytime that you get that many text messages, phone calls, and everything else, it's a pretty good storm before you even go out. It's a pretty good indication. We've had some lighter or decent hailstorms prior, sometime in March, but hardly any calls or texts or anything like that. But a lot of busted skylights, a lot of even roofs that were put on 2 years ago that are hammered pretty good. And we're trying to still figure out, the exact path of the storm. Hail Trace did a good job of, it's pretty accurate what they've got. Yeah, so right now we're kind of in triage, getting all the skylights covered. So we don't, nothing, water gets in from rain, and just, prioritizing homeowners with the worst damage. And luckily we've got a great customer base that trusts us, that'll wait on us, that won't go with the first guy that knocks on their door. So that's been nice, because, we're as busy as we can be right now. So it's good to have a good customer base and good relationships and good roots here.
Fantastic. I just think that goes to speak to so well of you, that folks have your cell phone. It's not only, they don't only have to call the office, they know they can reach you by text and cell, and that they're going to be able to get taken care of with whatever kind of triage you have to do. You take care of your folks out there. I think that I congratulate you. I know that speaks so well of you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's our 15th year in business, and I remember my first 3 years in business when it's sink or swim, and oh my gosh, I started a company, what do I do? And building up that customer base, and each year it gets easier and easier as far as getting customers and getting the calls and getting the leads. And now it's more concentrating on managing them and making sure production goes good, and it's not. We've switched from trying to get the leads and stuff like that. Since we're established, and I've done thousands of roofs here in the last 15 years, so that helps a lot. But those first 3 or 4 years, I was a door knocking son of a gun, and that was it was sink or swim.
But the quality of your work, the quality of your heart, the quality of the way the person that you are and the people that you have in your business, here we are, and I congratulate you for that. I'm grateful to have you not only as a colleague here, but you're my friend as well. And I want you to know how grateful I am that you'd come on here with me.
Well, that means the world for me to hear that from you, Philip. It really does. It's like I said,
Thank
it's just, I am proud, because it's not easy. This is, I look back and like, man, would I do this again? And knowing what I know now, I don't know. It's just, there's so much, the game changes from the insurance companies to the manufacturers, to the competition, to the laws, to the, OSHA, to, everything. It's constant problems, but every day you got to expect it's gonna be full of problems, and how do you embrace that? And you just got to expect that you're going to have them and overcome them. But I'm glad I'm not where I was 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
But the problems are just different.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about some of those challenges, some of the challenges facing policyholders right now after that big hail in Lubbock. And you know how this works. I'm a trial lawyer. I believe in the magic of 3, the power of 3. So you've been on here before, and you've seen others. We're going to have some other folks talking about the storm next week when we talk. We'll get into that when we talk about the deductible a little bit on one of your topics. Let's let folks know what the forecast is for the 3 topics that you're going to cover this evening.
First, we're going to breach ARCA, which is the Lubbock Area Roofing Contractors Association, and kind of talk about, what it takes to be a ARCA contractor, what sets us apart, and stuff for homeowners to checklist for them. Secondly, we're going to talk about deductibles. I think that's always the hottest topic, but especially now. Then third, we're going to run over, what insurance companies and what we're already seeing as in their response to the storm. It's a cat. There's no doubt about it. There's local adjusters aren't going to handle this one. So we're going to run over that.
Well, let me, before we go into start talking about each point a lot, let me say we've got some attendees here, and I always have to take a break to make sure they understand how they can participate. For those watching live, there's a Zoom chat that you can type out your question. If you're willing, once you type it out, we'll talk a little bit about whether I can unmute you to talk directly to Kris and have him address your questions live on the air with you visiting with us. So understand that I'm going to be monitoring that, Kris, so that you can just focus on the show. So we'll get started now. Before we start on that, though, you know how much I appreciate the fact that you graduated from Texas Tech and with a business and fine arts, a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. The angle right now is hard to see. I know your father is a fine artist. There we go. I want viewers to know when they see this on a YouTube channel later or other video platforms, the 2 watercolors on the end were actually done by Kris's dad. The picture in the middle is one that's an artist that Kris enjoys and collects. But I always like seeing those watercolors that his dad used to do, and that are hanging all around Kris's office at home. Thank you for sharing those with us, Kris.
Absolutely. I figure it's better background than my blinds.
All right. All right. Well, Kris, let's get started on the topics for folks. And again, those of you that are live that aren't just seeing this as a repurposed video platform or hearing it on an audio podcast, I'll be monitoring the chat if there's any questions as we go. So Kris, let's talk about, I'm so happy and so proud. It just, again, it speaks to your quality as a human to talk not only about come hire Kincaid Roofing, we're the only one to hire, but rather you would want to talk about items for policyholders to watch out for. The biggest part of that being make sure you go with someone that's in the Lubbock Area Roofing Contractor Association. So take it away and give us your comments on that, please.
Sure. So Lubbock Area Roofing Contractor Association, myself and about 4 other companies helped found it. It was after we took our test in Amarillo, Texas, our volunteer licensing with ARCA, because there's obviously no licensing in the state of Texas. I'm a big proponent of licensing because I think it would cut out a lot of the riffraff that we have to deal with. But LARCA, it was started 4 or 5 years ago, and basically we just want the Lubbock community to know, the good guys in the market, and that have been here. So the city of Lubbock, Texas, number one, they do not require general liability insurance. We went to the city council and did things to try to get it passed, and it gets political pretty quick, and it comes across as regulation, and then the conservative guys don't want to look like they're imposing regulation. But anyway, so long story short, everybody in LARCA carries insurance. in the city of Lubbock, you just have to have a $20,000 bond, and that's it. That costs $200, and anybody can go get that. So true general liability shows that that's people that do this for a living. They weren't sheetrockers, now they're roofers, and they're opportunists. It's something you have to have in place. They have to have a contractor board member sponsor to get in. They have to be vetted. We vet their suppliers. We do a Dun & Bradstreet background check on them. They have to have been here for 2 years, and that's a big one. I got a bunch of friends at Storm Chase, great companies, and that got here last year, and they want to be a member of ARCA, but they don't have permanent offices here, so the people of Lubbock know that everybody in there is either community of Lubbock, lives in Lubbock, and they've been there. They can't just sign up, come into LARCA and say, okay, hey, look, I'm LARCA, because everybody would do it. So that that's just some of the things. We have weekly or monthly meetings, and we're tied in we're sister organization of ARCA, which is Roofing Contractors Association of Texas. And so we've grown our membership, and we're really proud of what we've got. We've got camaraderie, which is rare in the roofing world, among guys that compete against each other. And there's not many businesses that are as competitive as roofing, right? And it's a product or service that everybody needs right then and now. But we don't all run our businesses the same way. But it's good to go once a month, see your competition, talk to your competition, and give talk about just like what we are. What are the hot topics? Hey, what's going on? Hey, OSHA's doing this, or insurance companies are not doing this. Watch out for that. So it's nice to have more camaraderie than just strict competition. I mean, we're still compete lively against each other, but it's a lot easier when you like them.
I wanted to stress one point for you about a requirement for LARCA that ties into what policyholders should look out for, watch out for after a storm too. You talked about being there for 2 years. As I understand it, from the time that I came to visit the folks at LARCA, you got to be there with a permanent building, a real live office for 2 years. You just can't go rent a suite for a little bit and not have anyone there and then say, oh, I've been here, I can be in LARCA. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you can't just have something rented and show a rent, or that you got suite C or something like that. And we're not trying to be exclusive but we want people that are here that don't try to come up and show, we're local, we got 806 signs now. It's not how it works, and if we've let 7 or 8 new members in, some of them from Amarillo, some of them from Abilene, and that's fine. They've had a place here, a working office is what we like to call it, for 2 years. Right. And a couple of them, wanted to get in sooner, and some of them didn't like the fact that they couldn't because they met all the other requirements. Well, and now this year that, 2 or 3 of them got voted in. So it's not anything about being exclusive, but it's just, it's just some of our requirements I think are important.
Well, and I think it's partly, it sounds to me like that's part of what you do to help protect the homeowners and residents of Lubbock, which takes us into, you were going to talk about some things that folks, policyholders ought to watch out for after a storm like this. So tell us, what are the hot topics, hot points for policyholders to watch out for?
Sure. And first, I want to make clear that I'm not against storm chasers. I used to be one, but there's a great one. Precision Roofing, Eric Hunter is one of my best friends. Derek Lindsay and Infinity, those guys, Crest, they're, those are good companies. But there's a lot of them that aren't. And so, I'm not bashing those. I just want to be clear about that. But one of the main things that, we see, it's your typical stuff. We've run into lately a company out of Dallas that's here trying to look local before this hell even is, they're signing, they say we need a signature that, so I can show my boss that we left you an estimate. Well, it's a contract, and they try to hold them to that. And it typically works on older people. And it's, it's a bully tactic, or it's a pressure tactic, and it's crap. I don't like it. It's just not how you should do business, in my opinion. So know what you're signing. Other ones are signing something on an iPad, just an agreement to get on the roof. Well, it's a contract. And I actually had a local adjuster call me the other day about that company because it happened to his daughter, and he was really mad about it and wanted to know what we could do as ARCA and blast their name, and we can't. But we can just, like we're doing right now, talk about points to, what to look out for. And obviously the money up front, we don't typically ever require money up front. We've got credit lines, and, we start doing 40, 50 roofs a week, something like that. Your AR gets crazy quick. But, when materials hit the ground, I think it's all right to ask for a check. But a lot of these guys, the gypsies are the ones that were, doing another trade right before, and now they're a professional roofer that, they do that and run off with checks. That brings me to everybody I've ever seen. They always do residential and commercial. Well, commercial steep slope is more understandable, but commercial flat slope, you need to know what you're doing. It's easy to flood a building. It's easy to screw something up. And flat roofs, if anybody's done them, they're very unforgiving. So I would always be wary and wanted some good references and stuff like that. So because I've always just thought that was amusing. Commercial, residential, sure, commercial stuff's bigger, but it's not always just an up and over and stuff like that.
Right. Does that cover the things that you want people to watch out for, or do we have more on that list before we
I've still got, and then the hottest topic I think in roofing always is the white elephant in the room, the deductible. And thankfully we've got House Bill 2102 that passed last September, and it is not perfect, but it's a dang good start. And so, explaining to homeowners, this is a Class B misdemeanor per occurrence, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna get in trouble for helping pay your deductible.
Right.
And so it's not perfect, but I think it's going to take a perp walk for a big company to make an example of. It's still going on here in Lubbock. 1 or 2 big companies that feel like they're above the law. And it's frustrating. And, first day out, we're already hearing about it. But it's a law, and it's always been a law, but now it's more specific that you cannot use an advertising agreement. You can't, rebate anything. You can't buy somebody a TV. They need to pay their deductible. And
there may have been a few text messages and a phone call made about be careful, go look in Lubbock and see if there's not some deductibles being improperly waived. I don't know. I'm not saying for sure, but maybe there was some information passed along that hopefully there'll be something like a perp walk.
Sure. Yeah. And, we're FMD. We've talked about that. We've have a relationship with Steve Badger. He's the guy that goes after and was part of this bill and is helping enforce it, and I think, if people are going to keep speeding until you start writing speeding tickets, right? Same thing with the deductible laws. But we're sticking to our guns. It's just, I think once you explain it right to the homeowner, show them the law, show them, we had to print it on our contract, 12-point bold font, that, it's illegal and they need to pay it. We've got creative ways to pay it through financing or funding, FMD, stuff like that, where they don't have to come up with the $2,000 or $3,000 right then. But, but still, if you have a homeowner that still is willing to do that, then, I told my sales team this morning in our meeting, it's not the homeowner you want,
Right.
and what corners are they going to have to cut to cover the deductible? So
right.
that's, it's always a hot button issue, but and it's illegal in every state, but Texas got more specific with it. So
we're going to have a full show on that Monday, a special edition Monday of Phil's First Party Parlay. It's you were referencing FMD, Fund My Deductible. For anybody watching or seeing this video later, hearing this on the audio podcast, FMD, fundmydeductible.com, is a way for homeowners to stay legal, to have a payment plan or financing for their deductible that they are obligated to pay by law. It's not a perfect law, as Kris referenced, but it is a law. We'll get more into the details of that Monday. I don't want to get us off track for you, Kris, but when it came up, I wanted to make sure that folks had the forecast to know that a full show was coming, a special edition on Monday to discuss all the benefits and ways that Fund My Deductible, FMD, can help as well.
Good deal. Well, yeah, so I mean, and that's something that, like I said, it's just always been, it's always a topic, and now they've done something about it, and we're looking for some enforcement.
Fantastic. I think that takes us into topic number 3, which is what we are in. The world is real, and what we've got going with COVID-19 and the restrictions and the grounding and those sorts of things. How is that affecting the claims that you've seen already and the way that you're able to help folks? What's that doing to the insurance claim industry for you out there in Lubbock right now?
It's been interesting. So, right off the bat, farmers had a homeowner actually call right after I sold my truck and got on the phone with his agent. Agent said, look, they're not going to send out an adjuster, just mark it up, document the damage, and send your estimate in. And that's pretty crazy because, obviously I'm going to document the damage. Obviously it's there and my line items are going to be legit and reasonable. But it's, it just goes to show, I guess, I don't know if it's a liability on their part. They don't want to, be accused of giving somebody COVID. I don't know their reasoning. It might save them some money not sending adjusters out if they see reasonable estimates and reasonable damage. It's kind of nice. Another example, and that happened twice today. Both homeowners called and they said, just, write it up. That's more work for us to document all the damage too. So I'm going to bill for it because I shouldn't have to be doing an adjuster's job. I will, but, taking time to take the pictures, mark the test squares, load it up, put it in, it's a lot more work. And so, an example is, I had one before the storm. I filed a reinspect on that they had paid for some collateral stuff. It was like $2,000 over their $5,000 deductible. Went out, had legit damage. They just got an adjuster that didn't really know what he was looking at. And I got a $76,000 supplement roof approval, with nobody coming out on site. They saw I documented it good enough and they sent them a check, and that's, it's fairly unheard of to not, and that's, right off my estimate to the penny, to not have any, back and forth or anything like that, which was, kind of refreshing. So it's going to be interesting to see what the other companies are going to do with this.
Well, I think it speaks well of you, Kris. I just have to keep coming back to what it says about Kincaid Roofing, that could work in that way. So I congratulate you. I celebrate you for that. Thank you for sharing. We've got a few minutes left, Kris. I know time always flies when you and I get busy right about this for the time within our slot here. Anything else that we're going to be able to, again, we're going to put this on video chat for video channels for folks to see this in the very near future. It'll be playing on the audio podcasting platforms. What else do you need folks to know out there in the Lubbock area in regard to what they need to know after this big hailstorm that just hit?
Be patient as always. Last time we talked about everything COVID, be patient. A lot of all the local guys are going to we're slammed, there's definitely room for the storm chasers. And there's a place for them for sure, but just be wary of who you're dealing with, who's knocking on your door, and who you're doing business with. Definitely vet them, because there's some good guys out there that chase, and there's some bad guys out there. And so just having a good idea of that, and then we're in May, and last year we got slammed pretty good in June, so a lot of people want to wait to file the claim and that whole process. So that always becomes interesting. Some people like to wait until October. Then we get slammed at the end of the year trying to finish up. So
Right.
just being conscious of, how much damage you have and how bad it is, and how fast you need to get something remedied.
I'm always a big advocate. I'd like to get your perspective on this. This is a conversation that we haven't had directly. I am a big fan and always encourage people, file your claim, file your claim, file your claim. Well, is that going to make my insurance go up? Your insurance is going to go up whether you file a claim or not. Your insurance is going to go up because everybody's insurance goes up every year.
The folks in Dallas are going to feel this storm.
Okay, that's the point. So how do you feel about people waiting on to file their claim, or should they go ahead? I mean, I know there are different perspectives. That's just mine. I wonder what
that's a really good question. Cat adjusters are like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get idiots that do not know, softball size hell when they see it. So, if they want to wait, it's fine with me, because I know we'll get a local adjuster, and all the local adjusters are know what they're doing. So sometimes it saves me a lot of work on the back end, having to supplement for, obvious stuff, or it's a presidential shingle and they're paying for a 30-year architectural shingle. Stuff like that's frustrating. And supplementing, I hate it, but I love it. It takes time. You can't just, we don't use a supplementing company that, sit down and crank them out or anything like that. So, you just, a lot of times when they send those cats in, you get some good ones and then you get some bad ones. And I think it's probably about 50-50. But I would rather deal with local adjusters. Right. But on a cat like this, they need some help. So there's gonna be probably a lot of cleanup.
Well, I wish you well on how the storm goes for you, for your family, for all the families that you serve.
Kissed my kids goodbye last night.
Right. Tell them that Uncle Philip said hey too.
I will.
I will get out there to see you as soon as I reasonably can. I think the restrictions are easing up some. Come join us Monday evening when we have another talk with someone from Fund My Deductible to dive more into one of the issues that we touched on this evening.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thank you, brother. I'm grateful to you. Thank you, attendees. Appreciate you being here. Kris, we'll repurpose this as soon as we reasonably can. We'll get this exposed so that all the people in the Lubbock area will know the things they need to watch out for, and mostly will know about Kincaid Roofing. Thank you for being here. Thank you, folks. I'm going to send us home this evening, brother.
Privilege and honor. Thank you, man.
All right, man. Thank you much. Good night, folks.